Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Morning, Peter. How are we doing? Happy Monday. Monday again. We're going to go through the news this morning. Usual stuff. Go through the news. Have a look at what's coming up this week. Have a look at positions, levels, usual things basically. DAX basically this morning and the FTSE look like a whipsaw. Where's my pen gone? Big move up, big move down. So it's going to be a hedge on both, I think, today, by the looks of things at the minute. That's a massive rejection to the upside on both this morning. So we have broken down on the DAX out of this 4-day range that we kind of been in. So Friday we broke down and we're breaking down into propulsion. So there's a possibility we're going to bounce out of here and continue up, but there's a good possibility as well we're going to fill that propulsion gap. So looking basically 5R target is the propulsion gap fill just within ADR. So if it does hedge today, I'll just play it down into the base of that propulsion gap. We're likely to get a bounce out of that. Already got a hedge on the FTSE. So downside target, just going to move downside target up within ADR, which is above the weekly low. So that's last week's low, double bottom at propulsion. So that's where the buyers are sitting. So we'll get out with the buyers on the next bounce. If it pushes up, just 5R and see if we get a reaction at that high. Right, that's those. We'll see what happens with the DAX. Let's just see what the DAX does. It looks like it wants to break down today. So it'd be the same story on that, basically, looking for this fill. We've also got a gap down scenario this morning as well. So if it does break long, we're likely to get the gap fill, which is 3R target to the upside. So we'll see where that goes. Morning, Virginia. Morning, Barry. Morning, Evil. How are we all doing? Just a quick update on this week's live rooms. I'm going to do tomorrow. We're doing a session on why are you doing this, basically. I've called it very simple. Part-time, full-time, setting a path and a target. So basically tomorrow's member stream is going to be I've had a few people over all the time really get asked this question, but a few people recently over the Christmas period wanting to do a lot of the usual January it's setting New Year's resolutions, etc., etc. But basically wanting to know, and the main question was, how do you go full-time as a trader? And I've done a session on this before, but I wanted to do a proper session on it, basically. Explain how I did it, first of all, but more importantly for you, give you a kind of a little bit of a framework to decide how to do what you want to do and how to get what you want out of trading. Because some people are doing this as an additional income to earn enough money for a holiday a year, or to bolster their normal income stream by just making an extra grand or $2,000 or whatever a month. Some people want to do this full time. So you've got to have a plan and have realistic expectations put in place for both of these. They're going to have completely different ways of trading. That you could probably do on prop. You can't do that on prop. I mean, that you can do that on prop, but 1 in 1,000 maybe. It's just not. You're not going to be consistent enough in prop to be able to do that. So if you're going to do it full time, you need to know what sort of capital you need. You need to set realistic targets. You need to know how much money you got to have in the bank to start off to do it. So it's all that sort of stuff, basically, and setting a path and a target to do it. So setting a roadmap of X number of months to get to where you want to be. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow in the members stream. And obviously I'll tell you how I did it. And how I did it is not how other people maybe will be able to do it, because you've got to be able to have some capital. And if you haven't got it, you've got to get it. So it's about looking at how to get it as well. So that's tomorrow's stream. Thursday, I'm going to cover more on the RSI extended strategy. I've been doing a lot of back testing on that for those that were in the member streams last week. We've got a new strategy which I started to develop called the RSI extension strategy, which is basically an extended RSI, or rather embedded RSI, I should call it, when we get an embedded RSI. I've been doing some testing with that with partial martingale or lot multiplication, and my God, thing absolutely kills it. So it's a stop loss based strategy. It does go through stagnation, but when it goes, it really makes some money. So I'm going to do some further development and back testing on that this week, and then I'm going to do the findings on that on Thursday. So that's this week's member streams, and apart from that, it's the normal streams for Wednesday and Friday. Morning, Gregors. Morning, Mark. Right, so let's get on with the news. News this week, nothing. Today, it's a bank holiday in Japan. That would explain why the yen was moving. When we have bank holidays in Japan, quite often the US takes advantage, and the UK. We get big ADR hits on the yen because they're not there to defend themselves. I think that's my theory, but it's probably not. But we do quite often get big moves on the yen when there's bank holidays. So there's no news today apart from that. That's it. Nothing. This week is the final week before Trump gets in. Have they fixed this button? No, they haven't. So let's move over to the monthly view. So this week is the last week before the inauguration on Monday. So Trump arrives Monday. So this week, basically in this run up, I've no idea what's going to happen with Trump and what he's going to say. He could be this week using the entire week to set out his plans for what he's going to do on Monday and press the button. He may not say a thing. We don't know, but be prepared for some volatility, I think. So news-wise this week, the market is got some bits and pieces to move on, not a massive amount. We've got US CPI, which is massively important, obviously. We've got the PPI numbers tomorrow. But I suspect this week we'll probably want to rotate the US dollar because they want to know what Trump's going to do. The Fed don't really know what Trump's going to do. The Fed came out last week as well and said that there's very little chance of dropping interest rates in the first 6 months this year, which makes the US dollar bullish. So we'll have to wait and see. We could have a parabolic move start on the US dollar if Trump comes in and does all the stuff with the trade agreements that he's planning to do. We could have a massive move this next week, but we'll wait and see what happens. So this week's a little bit tricky for the US, but we've got PPI coming up tomorrow, Purchasers Price Index, which feeds into Consumer Price Index. So if that is bullish, you would expect that to go bullish too. So it gives you an indication. Basically, they're all linked. So if the producers are paying more for their raw materials, that means consumers have to pay more for purchasing them. So and that is obviously all bullish for the US. So we'll see what happens with those. The forecasts start to come out as previous, a slight uptick in CPI. So we'll see what happens. But obviously there's volatility coming in tomorrow and on Wednesday. We've also got the pound CPI forecast to stay as it is. They've got everything wrong recently with the pound. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, CPI is higher than expected. If that ticks up, watch the pound. If it ticks down, also watch the pound, because interest rates are still very high. Any reason to drop those interest rates will be much appreciated by the Chancellor, but we'll see. Obviously, we've got crude. Aussie has the unemployment rate coming out. That's expected to tick up again on Thursday morning. GDP for the pound expected to be positive, which is good because we've had some negatives recently. We've had 2 negatives. You get 3 of those in a row, you are officially in recession. So we are keeping a close eye on this. If that comes out recessionary, the pound is going to really suffer. So watch that one, 7 a.m. on Thursday. I'll be on member stream at 8 o'clock, so we'll have a look at that on Thursday. 1:30, we've then got retail sales and unemployment claims. Unemployment claims obviously every week usually on a Wednesday. Thursday? No, Thursday, yeah. I thought they were on a Wednesday. Maybe not. Brain's not with it this morning. But anyway, so yeah, we've got that coming out this week as well. And then retail sales for the pound on Friday. So it's a very US heavy week. So US. Yeah, so very tricky to call today. Obviously, the whole midweek, we've got potential movement on the US dollar. And then Friday, we go into the pound. And then obviously next week it's Trump time. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's one of those things. If you've traded through Trump, you know what it's like. It's just volatility heaven. Next week, we've also got the Bank of Japan interest rate announcement. We're getting perilously close to the intervention. In fact, I think we just missed it. Yeah, Friday last week, we missed the intervention low by, you know, not a lot, a couple of pips. So we are very, very close to that point where the Japanese are going to have to make a decision. That was obviously their decision to intervene. We're so close to this. If we get a rally on the Trump move, there's a possibility if Trump rallies the market next week, obviously by making decisions positively for the US, we may find Japan changes its mind on its interest rates at the end of next week. So just bear that in mind. Very tricky to call this yen at the moment. We've not been in a situation like this before. Nobody's got any idea what the call is going to be when we get there. So it makes sense to do that for me, but you know, it has started to drop already. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, very high. Looking at ADRs, there's nothing exciting so far today. Nothing's moved. So ADRs all within ranges. Obviously, weekly ranges, nothing's been hit because it's Monday. We've got a few monthlies which were hits. Euro, pound, pound CAD, and pound US. So Euro, pound has done its monthly range. I'm already short on this one. Second entry about to go in. I'm just hitting the button. I'm not going to get that on basically because it's going to close below, and I want another trade on there. I want to get that level. So looking for a push down into there on that one. The pound CAD. So there's your month. Where's your month start? Let's have a look. Where are we? So monthly low is there. So it's done its entire month's range. We're only on the 13th, so we're starting to look for mean reversions from this. The pound CAD is extended to 125 of its monthly range. So again, there's your month high. That's 125%. Next order for me is there. I've got two on already. So as you can see, I'm going to get into a third. We've also got the pound US dollar is extended on the monthly as well. So a good opportunity for a long there. You're about to get a reverse alert on the hourly time frame there. I'm only looking for shorts on this, so I'm not going to take this on myself, but yeah, good looking push up into propulsion. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't work out today. Well, not today, but at some point this week. We've got a lot of US news. So I think they're going to use the news potentially to unravel some of this US before next week, but we'll wait and see what they do this week. Morning, Georges. So those are your ADRs, so your monthly ranges. RSI dash lit up like a Christmas tree. There's a lot this week, RSI wise. So 4-hour RSIs, we've got the Aussie yen is extended to the downside. So we've had this, basically we had a little push up early last week, and the whole week huge drop again. But as you can see, we are in an upward channel at the moment, which is potentially a flag break. So I think there's probably a chance, a good opportunity for a little pullback on this before a continuation to the downside. But it's all going to depend on the yen interest rates next week and what that US dollar does this week and next week. Because if it pushes the yen up into those regions where we are looking at as a potential new intervention, obviously this is going to come screaming down. So as you can see, this is looking a lot like an extended flag to the downside, but it may well just bounce straight off of this and continue to grind up. So market structure at the moment is obviously bullish short term, but not very strong, very weak market structure. Yeah, so it's just putting a new lower low. So potentially you've got a structure break to the downside here forming. But either way, we should look for a push back up before we drop. Aussie US also extended on the 4-hour. I've got loads on this. As you can see, I've been managing this position for a while. Got into it end of sort of mid to end of November. I've taken 3 drawdown controls on it. and I've taken a nice profit out of it, as well as doing partial drawdown control. I haven't taken an aggressive on this because I didn't really think I needed to, but I'm getting to the point now, if this goes one more, I'm going to get aggressive drawdown control positions on this, because this move is, it's a bit protracted because of what we had over the Christmas break. Christmas is a horrible time if you're position trading or swing trading, because the entire market resets itself. So every single trade, every single analysis you had on before Christmas, the market just resets. So you have to start again, but you have nothing to go on apart from a range break. And it broke up, then it broke down. So you've still got nothing to work on, particularly with this one. So obviously at the moment, we know US is bullish. Aussie's having trouble at the moment, but they're not dropping their interest rates. So it is potentially bullish long term. So it really depends on what happens with the US dollar over the next couple of weeks. But I'm keeping a close eye on this. Another trade was taken on Friday last week. On the news. So I'm watching the propulsion gap to see if we can break the propulsion gap. If we can break the propulsion gap, there's a good chance we're heading back up into here, and that gets me out. And so at the moment, my goal on this is just an exit. I'm not looking to make any money on it. I've done 3 drawdown controls. I've also made profit on it, so I'm down overall, but if I can get out of it with a nice break even, job done for me. Swiss yen, big strong push down. Obviously, we know the yen has been strong. If you look at all the yen pairs, a lot of strength on that at the moment. Obviously, I think the market is anticipating those interest rates going up in Japan, although they are very tight-lipped as to what they're going to do. So we have bought into the yen over the last week, and obviously next week is when the interest rate announcement comes, next Friday. So we'll wait and see what they say, but good chance of a pullback this week of some proportion, I think, on all of these yens. Euro pound, obviously we've looked at this on the weekly, massive weekly extension, big 4-hour extension. We had a lovely divergence there, which played out. Sorry, idiot. Got a lovely divergence here playing out. So bearish divergence in play. Today's price action, if you look at what we've done in Asia today, very odd price action. Yeah, we do not normally, this is the euro and the pound. Asia does not normally trade euro pound. Look at the movement we've had today. It's been massively bullish, and then we've had this period of 5 hours where we've had huge volume going, but no direction. Yeah, so this to me looks like they're exiting their positions on these longs and potentially starting to get into some pound ahead of this week's news. So this massive bear candle that we've got going in at the moment could well be the start of that drop. So that's the reason I wanted to hit the button on this one, because my entry, this was not going to take an entry. If this candle closes here in the next 40 minutes, I wouldn't get an entry on because it's actually below the entry level, although it got up there. So I've just hit the manual button on this because I think this is where we're turning. So looking to get down into this propulsion gap as the sort of worst case scenario, and then we'll start to form a range here, but obviously a retest of that is on the cards as well. So if you look at all these pound pairs, or is that euro weakness we've got coming through? No, it's a pound strength coming through. So this pound in Asia, look at it, it's moved massively. So we've had an awful lot of movement on the pound during Asia today, which is very unusual. We don't get that much movement during Asia. As you can see, this is the Asian range normally. Yeah, that's a typical Asian range. Doesn't really tend to go anywhere. Then London opens up, we get the move. Yeah. Today, Asia's been very, very, very active on the pound. So something's happening. They're getting out of some volume. So a reversal on all of these potentially. Euro yen we've already covered. Euro US dollar also extended on the 4. Big extension on the 4 hour there. So same as that. Yeah, we're just looking for those pullbacks. Basically, market extended, needs to do a profit take. If it's going to continue, it'll do that. If it's not, it's going to do that. So either way, good looking long opportunity there. Euro US dollar, pound CAD we've looked at already. That's a weekly RSI a weekly ADR or weekly monthly. What am I trying to say? Weekly RSI extension. Weekly ADR. Weekly monthly. 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 Weekly RSI extension. Weekly ADR. Weekly monthly monthly range extension, average monthly range, AMR. Can't get my terminology right this morning. It's Monday morning, and it's the 13th. So watch this bounce out of the monthly level we've got coming up as well. So nice embedded RSI there. So very, very long move. We've got a retracement on. So this leg here, we've got very orderly market structure on it. So looking for a pullback into propulsion, I would say at least there, 50% retracement. My average at the moment is here, but next entry is going to go on here. So next entry is going to be taken basically in the next sort of 40 minutes, which is going to bring the average down nicely. So that'll be a nice exit. Pound Swiss, pound yen, pound New Zealand. We covered pound New Zealand, pound Swiss, pound New Zealand, pound US, all the pounds. So 4-hour RSI extension there. Just missed another entry on that. Do I want to take another on that? I'm going to leave that one for the minute. We have got this low here, which is what we're reacting out of basically. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that we're just going to put in a propulsion gap here and then continue a little bit more movement down. So I would like to see them test that monthly low and see if we've got any buyers left back at this level. This is the 21st of November. So this is the 2-month low basically. So we've just broken the monthly low from December and we're looking for buyers at the lows of November. And then we're going to push back up into that propulsion gap. So that's the play on that one. The pound New Zealand extended 4-hour as well. So again, we're coming back into propulsion. This is where we bought last time. This is where we've got rejection so far in the last 4 hours. We're putting in a sort of doji at the moment, potential spinning top. So again, double rejection pattern. So bulls in control, bulls trying to move, bears trying to move, nobody taking control. So if this candle closes as a doji, this is the formation 2 bars out of a 3-bar reversal. So big potential push back up on pound New Zealand. And we got pound US dollar as well, which is also extended to the downside. Massive extension on this. Remember down here for a while. So last 2 times we were down after this much volume coming through, or this much movement coming through, was here. Obviously that is the start of that grind, and this one here where we had one more leg put in before the pullback. So big extension. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty equidistant to those moves there, what we've got at the moment. So last 2 that we had kind of took another leg to work, and that was obviously a grind. So this difference between this one, that was news, which was a fundamental shift in interest rates. So that's why that continued to go. We haven't had any interest rate changes here. We've obviously got Trump coming in though. This is the problem. So we need to be a little careful with this one. But yeah, nice looking long opportunity. Longs are fairly not too expensive to trade, but a little bit too rich for my blood. So I'm looking for shorts. So I'm looking to get in on pullbacks to the downside. We've also got New Zealand yen. I've covered all the yens. New Zealand US and US Swiss. So New Zealand US extended just about, not massively. Got 2 on this already. Average is here. Unfortunately, right at upside resistance in the propulsion gap. So I need them to break that propulsion gap and head back up here. And use US dollar Swiss. Again, 4-hour RSI just about extended. It's got embedded up there at the 75.80 level. So nice rejection on Friday. We've had little price action since then. So just looking for a push back down. This whole leg here, basically, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks straight up. If you look at the daily on the US dollar Swiss, yeah, sorry, 5 days straight up. Big push, very big push. I mean, it's 5 weeks straight up as well, but it's the last 5 days solid. So looking for a pullback. Yeah, you don't often get rallies of more than 5 days before you get some kind of pullback. Yeah, so 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4. Could potentially have a bull day here, but it's tired. It's going to need a little bit of a pullback and a rest before it's going to get the momentum to go any further. So nice extension there, good looking potential pullback on that one. So lots of opportunities on RSI for new entries. That's it on those. Just going to quickly cover all the levels with the zone trader. So I just need to set up new levels that I've got at the minute. So we'll start Aussie CAD. Start at the beginning. If you've got any questions, fire away. So new entry taken on Friday. Average is there. Target going to move down up to the high here. So just going to look for a push back into this area. So this is a propulsion gap. This is the sort of just before Christmas. This is when we got the news. So looking for that area there, which is where that batch of sellers added into their positions. So now my average is down. I can target that level. So looking for some kind of retest up there at the minute. New entry taken to the downside. So need a new entry below. Nothing on the hourly. So 4 hour. Nothing particularly standing out really, apart from the double bottom. So we got quite a lot of buying activity here. So we bought, made a little spike through there. That is a previous resistance that we broke and tested. So that will be my next entry long if we get down into there. Really big drop on this one. So that one's set up. Aussie dollar Swiss still going nowhere. I've got a sell on. It's just not going anywhere. So I'm looking for a push back down to retest this area to get out, and then I'll flip long. But if it pushes up, I don't really have. I mean, there's an argument on this one for setting the next zone to the upside to here. So this is part of a head and shoulders pattern. So this is your left shoulder there, head, right shoulder. So that is an area where we've sold with a false breakout. So that is potentially another entry to the downside. Could also use the highs from Friday as potentially double top to go short. But there's so much chopping here. There's a whole week's worth of choppy price action, and it was the first week back after Christmas. So not really sure I want to target that level at the moment. I'd rather get a stronger entry up there. But I'm going to wait and see what happens with price action. I'll have a look at this one again tomorrow in the members stream, and we'll see where we've gone today. But if we are starting to roll back down, I'll leave it as it is. But I'll watch price action and then adjust levels as necessary. Difficult to call that one. Aussie yen got long, second entry. So I need a new long, which is obvious down here. It's a nice propulsion gap and retest there. It's a bit close though. Can't get that one on. So yeah, I'll just target the lows. Upside target. There's an obvious support resistance zone here. So we hit that level, broke it, tested, 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 broke it, tested, tested. So that's where they're buying and selling from. Not a lot of profit, but I'm not going to be flipping short on this. I'm long only, so I'm going to let it run and just see if we can get a big strong move, but I'll look at it day by day. Aussie New Zealand, looking for shorts on this one. So I mean, it's coming out the lows at the minute. So if we can get back up into those highs, this area here is more resistive, actually. I'm just going to move it down. So we've got that high there, that high there. So this area here is where they're selling from. So I'm going to try one out of there. If it breaks that level, obviously it's likely to get a reaction up there. So either that will be range high or that will be range high if we're going to stay range bound, obviously. So I'll try and get in a little bit closer than previous up there. So see if we can get up into there today. Aussie US, new long taken Friday. So I need a new entry below. Nothing. Okay, so we're out in fresh air basically. So there's nothing I can do on this. It's just a case of scaling in. So that's half an ADR. So I'm just going to stick the next entry somewhere below. So if we move down by 3/4 of an ADR roughly, I'll just scale a new position into that because we have literally no resistance or no support levels to the left to look at. So upside target, still looking for a push up into those highs. CAD Swiss, shorts on at the moment. We didn't go anywhere last week. As you can see, that's where we opened. That's where we closed. So no progress. New entry taken yesterday. High is next entry for a test of that high there. And then I'll be adjusting targets to see where we go. But at the moment, that is my exit, which is testing this area here. So resistance broke through to that area there is where I'm looking for it to come down to. That's the first profitable area I can see. There's a couple of other little areas there. We've got this high here, which is basically, just clear that up. This high here, which is where we broke and retested. So it may be there, but that's a tiny little profit. However, been in it for a while, so I'll see what happens as price unfolds this week. CAD Yen, looking for longs, so I'm looking to take an entry out of this support. There is a chance that we'll come down and we'll test this area here. Obviously, it's a yen pair, so anything can happen on these. We'll have to wait and see. But Swiss yen, second long, taken on that one on today. So I just got into that one today. So it's come down, it's hit my next entry level, which is these lows here. So we're retesting those, looking for a bounce out. So next entry for me, that's a little bit close, unfortunately. So we've got a support resistance zone there. Hit it, bounced. Yeah, so looking for that level. Upside targets. I mean, that's obviously the range high. I'm just going to leave that there at the minute. I might adjust that depending on what happens with the yen. Obviously, we need to just see what's going to happen with this yen. We've got this area here, which is the accumulation break and retest. So that is an obvious level we're going to find some sellers at. So that's probably the most realistic place to put the sell at the minute, because we know that they are selling that level heavily. So I'll get out there. I won't be flipping short on this one because the swaps are too expensive. Euro odd. Missed my short entry on Friday by a pip. Literally missed it by a pip. So it was this area here that I was looking for some kind of reaction. So I'm hoping we might get a little bit more of a push up. We've got this propulsion gap, which I'm still targeting to the upside. So they're either going to hit that and bounce and leave the propulsion gap, leave the gap in play, or they're going to fill the gap. Either way, I want to be in short somewhere around here. So this zone really should just encompass the gap as well. So we got nice area here, previous resistance, broke it, turned to support. We've gapped down, which is where we know the market is attracted to gaps. So we're either going to hit that and the sellers here are going to drive price back away, or we're going to do the gap fill. And either of those gets triggered and it continues to push, we're going to find sellers at the high. So that'll be in the next entry short, but can't quite get there yet. Euro CAD, looking for shorts on this. I exited short ahead of the news on Friday. Basically just in case the news went that way. It didn't, it went my way. This was my original target. which it would have hit on Friday. So I left that on the table. Still profitable trade, but I left too much on the table on Friday. But it doesn't matter. So out of those, so I'm looking for shorts. So I'm going to just see, this is Euro CAD. So I'm just going to see if we can get an extra entry if they come back, move to origin. So looking for a lower high to go in there. Obviously market structure is bearish, not particularly bearish, but it is bearish because of that news. So just looking for an entry there, then I'll take a back up here if we're going to continue to the downside. Euro Swiss, got out of this last week, the shorts. It's just stuck at the moment. Looks like today I'm going to get that long on finally. Hopefully, if we can get down there. Just want them to come back down and retest this area and rebuy this area. So see if we can get down there today. And obviously target would be upside of the range. Euro Pound, next short taken. Again, whippy price action on this today. So target now, I'm going to move up into these highs. Yeah. So this is the previous area of resistance within the range. We broke it with the news. So one of two things is going to happen. Either that accumulation break there is going to get retested, or they're going to come down and find resistance here and leave that propulsion gap that broke the highs in play, or they're going to fill the propulsion gap when they come down eventually. So something down here is going to be in play. I don't know what yet, but we'll sell again if we push up. So we got a high there. So there's an accumulation here. So this price action here, this is the accumulation, and then they broke down from that level. So we may well, if we're going to put in a lower high, we're going to want to target somewhere around there. Just trying to see. That's too close. Yeah, so somewhere in that zone basically is what I'm looking for. So that's where we broke. So see if we can retest that area there. That's too close. So that's upside target. Downside target is down there. Euro yen, got one long on. So I got out of those shorts, now flip long. Just make sure that's set up to trade only in direction of swaps. Yeah. So next entry for me is going to be if we retest this accumulation break here. So that's my second entry long. Down upside target to get out. I've only got the one on it. I'm just going to go for the highs. This is basically, if that yen drops on US dollar strength, we're going to get quite a vicious move if the US rallies. So I think we're going to get a lot of yen weakness coming in if the US rallies. So I think there's a good chance that we're going to get sort of, you know, a couple of ADR days back to back. So, I mean, that's an extreme move, that one there. But a big ADR day followed by another big ADR day within a week is not unusual. And if you look at what we're doing with ADR, ADR is 1560. So 2 ADR from there is about 300 pips, which is roughly somewhere up there. So there's every chance we could be up there this week. If you look at how much movement it did last week, we could easily be up there, couldn't we? So this is your lower high. So we've got a high, low, lower high, lower low. If we're going to put a lower high in, we're not going to invalidate that level. So that is kind of where we broke down. So somewhere in that region there is an obvious spot for a lower high. So I'll leave it there for the minute and see what price action does. If we get, you know, up to here and then we get a news event, obviously there's no point in not getting out at that point, but I'll play it day by day. This is the whole point of analyzing day by day, is the market looks different every day. It changes every day. So you're going to be looking for different levels every day. Euro New Zealand, got sells on this one at the moment. Just looking for a push down, basically. I'm targeting these lows at the moment. It's not a great level at all. I'd much rather be targeting here, which is basically a double top break. But that is my average. I'd much rather be targeting there in case we start to build a range, but I can't because my average is here. So I'm looking to get down into this level at the moment. Ideally for me, what I would like to see is a retest of that high and a failure. That would get me another position on. It would move the average up, which would give me an exit at these levels, but not at the moment. We've gone literally nowhere for 2 weeks. So the reason I can't get out is because we haven't gone anywhere. So just waiting basically for price to move. Next buy is about to go in on this one. On Euro US dollar. False, because I should have already taken one on this. I've got the EA set up wrong. Just move that up a little bit, just to make sure I get the entry on. So we've opened inside, closed outside, so that will be an entry long. Average is going to come down. Going to leave my targets exactly where they are. So we've got this propulsion move, which is the break of these lows. So that is your accumulation break. Retest, 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 retest. This is where the sellers are in this area. So I'm looking for this to become a sort of double bottom and look to push up into there. So this entry is going to bring the average down, which gives me a nice exit profitably there. Pound odd. Morning GC, morning Nico. Mark, are you still using ADR 10? I thought at one point you were looking to change to ADR 60. You will use whatever you want. You can use different ADRs for different strategies. But yeah, ADR whatever really. There's no right or wrong, Mark. It's whatever you think you want to use. I did the analysis on it. ADR 10 is spiky. ADR 30 is smoother. ADR 60 is smoother still. How smooth do you want your daily adjustments in ADR? That's literally all it is. There isn't a better one. It's just different. So if you're using ADR entries as your entry criteria, ADR 10. That's what all the ADR strategy analysis was done on. But for scaling into positions, that is going to skew ADR 10. It won't skew ADR 30. So for scaling in, I think longer ADRs are better. So I'm using 30 on this at the moment because it's just a smoother, it just doesn't change as much, less volatility. When you're getting into entries, you want to be analyzing the most recent volatility for entries. When you're scaling into trades, you're in, so you don't want to get your entries skewed by volatility. If volatility massively spikes, the difference between entries could be that or that. Yeah. So if your ADR number, if you have 3 ADR hits in a row, your ADR number is going to rise dramatically quickly, which means that it's going to make your spacing much further apart. When you've got high ADRs, you want your spacing fairly close together because the high ADR in the opposite direction will get you out faster. So it's better, I think, to have a longer, smoother ADR for scaling in, but a tighter ADR for entries. Especially if you're scalping, you want a tight ADR, don't you? Longs on this one, so we've got an accumulation break here. We've got this area here, which is the propulsion move. So seeing if we can get another position on here. Failing that, we're going to look for the propulsion gap fill. Yeah, so exit for me is going to be the accumulation break, which is the propulsion gap there. I will watch that level as well because it's an area of interest. So we've accumulated around it a bit. So we know that there's sort of balance here, and there's also rejection in both directions. So that where my average is exactly is potentially an area of interest for sellers. But at the moment, I'm looking for them to come back up and fill that propulsion gap there. Pound CAD, new long taken. So that's the gap fill done. So we had the gap in play. So we had a gap up, which didn't get filled. It is filled now. And that low, obviously. So the gap fill and the low are potential areas for the unfinished business and the buyers. So where we are here now, I don't think there is any more support until there. So we got the propulsion gap there, then added twice out of that propulsion gap, so we know that this is where the buyers were, but this is going back to June, so it's an old level, but it is the next level. That's too close. Basically that's all part of the same move, so I am bought there already. So yeah, next one to the upside on that, leaving the target where it is, so I'm looking for the gap fill, the propulsion gap there to be targeted. There is an exit opportunity here as well, so I will keep an eye on this one. When we get back up into there, might want to get out. I'm not taking shorts on this, I'm only taking longs. The pound CAD, basically at the moment, the Canadian dollar is going to move with the US dollar. We don't know what is going to happen with the US dollar in the coming weeks with Trump getting in, so it's very volatile time for all FX pairs, basically for everything, for the market in general. So we'll wait and see what happens with the US, but obviously the pound at the moment is very weak, because Rachel Reeves is thinking about more cuts and possibly putting taxes up more, stuff they said they weren't going to do when they got in. So the pound is obviously dropping because we're very weak. Our borrowing is at the highest it's ever been. So it's not looking great. CPI is bouncing again. We're up at that 2.6 on the CPI. We're forecast to stay there. If that pops up again, it means we're probably going to want to increase interest rates. So that will rally the pound. But if that CPI number comes out at 2.6, or if anything happens negative, this is going to continue to drop the pound. If the US dollar rallies at the same time, we're going to get double bubble on this. So it's a difficult one to call at the minute. There's a lot of stuff happening at the moment on the pound and the US side. So pound CAD is going to be affected by that as well. The other thing we've got going against us with this one at the moment is oil prices are rising, and Canadian are a big oil exporter. CAD strong. Yeah, so there's a lot going on at the moment, which is just causing this squeeze to happen. But if this level breaks here, we have got other levels coming up that we can use. But after that, it's getting into squeezy territory. Pound CAD, new entry going in long. Didn't take one there. Have I got this set? Long, yeah. Oh, we haven't had a bull candle, that's why. Okay, yeah. So next entry is about to go in on this in the next 10 minutes. So we're buying support. Yeah, so we've got this propulsion gap fill that's just done. So we're looking for, it's behind my head, can't see it, can you? Looking for this support area here to be rebought. Okay, so staying in that range. Until proven otherwise, we do the same thing as we always do. Pound yen, new entry gone in, next buy. Tricky one. So this area here is of interest, but it's a bit too close to the previous entry. So I'm just going to go with the lows. I don't think we'll get there. We're going to need some sustained strength on that yen. Yen is really struggling to have sustained strength at the moment. The pound's not having a problem being weak though. So yeah, we'll look for an entry down there. That whole move then is going to need a retracement of some description. So we'll wait for the push back up. Again, going to take a while. Pound New Zealand, not trading, too expensive. Longs, need another long on this one. Oh, put it in already. So next long, I'm waiting for this level down here. Cool, you can't see it on a 4-hour chart. I've got to go out to daily. So this is the next level area of interest for me here. There's absolutely nothing here really that I could see to get into, so I let it just slide through that level, and I'm looking to get in basically down here. When we're getting down into these lows, we've got the next level coming up down there. So if we get down to here without a rest, that is the entire move, which is that sort of distance. Yeah, so I'll be looking for a push back out of that level down there, but hopefully we'll get a reaction here, and I can get the average down and I can exit when we get back to this accumulation. But obviously it's the US dollar, so pound US, tricky to call at the moment. It's Trump land, so anything can happen. So just scaling in, basically waiting for some kind of weakness to come through on the US dollar. We've got a lot of news this week, don't forget. So there's a hell of a lot of opportunity this week for US dollar weakness as well. So here, sorry. I was looking at it all going CAD. So yeah, it's US 3 days, 3 of the days this week. So plenty of opportunity for some weakness to come in ahead of next week's whatever Trump's going to do. Next buy on this one is, this is New Zealand dollar CAD. Yeah, daily level. So nothing I can see until we get down to these lows. So we got this low here and this low here, which is where we've bought out of. So I'm hoping we can get a push down into that area there and then get next entry on. And then I'm looking for a pullback on that as a leg. So this would be target, that would be target, potentially there, but the most recent level is there, so that is where I'll be targeting. That's where my average is at the moment, so that entry is going to bring the average down, which gives me an out. 5 trades on, just really parabolic drop on this, so that exit is going to be there. I'm going to put it in place now. Doesn't hurt having it there. If it did get there and it gets me out at break even, happy days, I'm out with no loss, so I'll take that. New Zealand dollar Swiss, got a long on. I set this to break even last week. If you were in the live rooms last week, you saw me probably set this to break even, because I can't be bothered with it anymore. It's just not going anywhere. It missed my target by 10 pips and then decided to come back for 2 days and sit around for 2 days, and it's just not going anywhere. So I'm not going to take a loss on it, but hopefully we get a push up. New Zealand dollar strength or Swiss franc weakness, one or the other, but we're just not able to do anything at the minute. So meh. New Zealand dollar yen, third long taken on that one. So this area here is support. We've got this little anomalous V-shaped spike there. I can't remember what that was, some kind of news that didn't pan out. So false break. So I'm looking for them to rebuy the support and push back up into range highs. So it's a bit tricky, this one, for range high. It's anywhere from obviously that high there down to there. So this massive move there is the start of the range. Then we tested it, extended it, came back, lower high put in, then we put in a higher high, then we came back mid-range, 50% retracement, we put another high in. So we're making gradual new highs here. But we've also made a couple of gradual lows. So it's an expanding sort of wedge, but it's a really odd shape. It's just really crap, weird price action. So I'm looking for them to get somewhere up here. So I'll take the lowest level, the highest level. If we can get somewhere up there, I'll get out. But very difficult to call that one. New Zealand dollar yen. New Zealand dollar US dollar, again, stuck sideways, can't do anything. A lot of this stuff is just stuck. So looking for a push back in to fill the propulsion gap. I think I've already covered this one in the other account. So looking for a push up into there. Next entry is going in down here. If we push lower, there is no support. So it's just scaling in roughly 3/4 of an ADR apart, waiting for some bull price action to come in, but can't really get any movement on it at all. So there we go. So those are the levels. 785, that's good. So yeah, there we go. All done. See what's happened with the indices. Yeah, so DAX is hedged. FTSE's hedged, so yeah, nice exits to the downside. So looking basically for an exit in propulsion. So these highs here before the propulsion move. Yeah, so we've got these highs here and that accumulation, which we retested. That is your area of interest to the downside. So this is where the buyers are. Yeah, bought into that, 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 smashed it, rebought it. That's where we're going to buy again. So if we can get pushed down into there, I'll get out of the shorts and then I'll flip long and get the hedge exit on. Be very surprised if we break that level, but you never know. So let's hope we can get down to there nice and aggressively today. And the FTSE I've already covered, but there's your lows out of propulsion. So that accumulation break, retest, add, retest, add. If we get down to there, we're going to find buyers. Easy peasy. Let's hope we get one of them. That's it. All done. So back tomorrow for the member stream, and we're going to be looking at, as I said earlier, if you weren't here earlier, we're looking at what setting out a plan really as a trader for targets and goals for what you want to get out of trading. So it's looking at whether you want to do it part-time, whether you want to do it full-time, how much money you want to make, and basically how to plan to get to where you want to get to, and being realistic about timeframes to get there, and obviously amount of capital you're going to need to get there. So if you want to earn 10 grand a month trading, if you ain't got 100 grand in the bank, you're really going to struggle. So other opportunities we've got are prop for building capital. I'm going to go through as well a little bit, I think, compounding strategies for small accounts. I get asked a lot, can I run this EA or this strategy on $100 or $500? And my answer is always usually no. I mean, the realistic answer is yes, of course you can. But if you've got $100 to trade with, I don't know what quite you're expecting to get, because if you're going to return somewhere between an average profitable trader 10 to 15% a month max, are you happy with $10 to $15 profit a month? I don't see what the point in doing it is. So it's a case of, if you are that type of trader who's doing it as a hobby because they love it and it's interesting and they like to just have a little bit on the side, nothing wrong with it. But you know, that's not what most people are in this for. Most people are in it to try and either earn additional income or make it their main income. So we're going to cover the realities of it, basically. And we'll also look at, obviously, the levels, look at the ADRs and everything as usual. So we'll see where everything is going. Just want to see what this US dollar is doing quickly before I go. Still rallying. Or is that the pound dropping? Still a weak pound again today. They are not liking this pound at all. Really not liking this pound. Right, that's it for today. So anything else you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram. Well, no, I won't. I'll be in Discord, but I've obviously got Telegram as well if you want it. So back tomorrow morning for the member stream. Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to be doing a little bit of futures trading as well on my Top Step. So I will look at obviously what's going on with that, and I'll do some trading on the combines that I've got running. Doing well on this at the minute, up 4-7. So 3 profitable days back to back. Although that was the day we were kind of shut, so I just got a couple of trades on to get a trading day in, basically. But yeah, getting close to target on this. So I'll trade some futures on Wednesday afternoon again, for those that are interested in a little bit of futures trading. Wow, Nasdaq's moving nicely this morning. Yeah, big drop on the Nas this morning. So we've broken Friday's low, which is last week's low, already during the Globex session. So market not very happy at the minute. Coming down into potential support in a second. But next realistic support to the downside, actual low support, which is that propulsion move, which they rebought twice, is 125 ADR. So there's a lot of potential downside today. We won't get there during Globex, but if we do get a bearish break in New York this afternoon, we've got good distance to move. 125 ADR. Might try and get on this actually this morning. I don't usually trade the Globex session very much because the volatility is very low. Volume's very low, but this is obviously very, very trendy price action. So looking for a higher low to get put in somewhere here. Might try and get a short on and see if we can get a quick trade out this morning. Some of the best trades I've had in futures have been during the Globex session. When you get these just grindy sessions where the market just wants to put a gap in Globex. So something usually happens over the weekend or happens overnight, which just means that they just want to sell during the morning before the market opens. And it's one of those, if you can get on it and just get it to break even and just get a rider, you can get a very nice sort of grand 1500 out of it just grinding away. So I want some kind of pullback back though. Just use sort of $500 risk or something. Don't think I'm going to get on it though. Look, it's pretty parabolic. We had news this morning. We didn't cover the overnight news, did we? Or over weekend news this morning. That's because there wasn't any. I scanned through it this morning. There's nothing I could see in here of any interest. So yeah, there's nothing overnight to worry about today. Yeah, look, there you go. Fed fund futures show traders no longer fully price in a Fed rate cut by the year end. So remember I said at the beginning of the stream, it came out over the weekend that the Fed weren't expecting to drop interest rates again for another 6 months because they don't see inflation coming down any more of any distance, making the US bullish. Fed's price, the traders no longer pricing a Fed rate cut this year. So we're staying at those high interest rates on the US dollar potentially for the year. So we're up at 4.5, 4.75 on the pound as well. I'm going to find it very difficult for a case for them to drop that either. So that obviously indicates bullish US dollar, which will drive stock indices down. Just had an ADR going on the pound Swiss, first one of the day. So it's your first ADR hit of the day. So I'll be getting into third position long on that. We're coming down into that beautiful double bottom monthly support. So that is your November low. So we should be able to get buyers out of this. We've also got a gap down today. Look. Oh no, it's not. It's filled. Thought that was a gap down. So yeah, propulsion gap target to the upside. But obviously, if you're going to take a scalp long on this, watch this area. No, don't watch that area. Watch this area here, which is your last week's low. So this propulsion gap to the upside. Watch that propulsion gap as well for a lower high. Failing that, we'll be coming back up into there. So nice looking long opportunity down here. Drop down 5-minute chart. Wait for some bullish price action. Reversal alert. So your reversal, that's going to go in there. Take a 3-bar reversal, whatever. But yeah. But this is a absolute steam train, this pound at the minute. They are struggling. So yeah, look at that. Bull again. So that entry that I took manually, shouldn't have taken that one this morning, but not a lot I can do with that. So bull all the way. Look, not one red candle against the pound today. They are not liking it. If you look at the news, Rachel Reeves said a load of stuff over the weekend. Nothing particularly impactful, but stuff was said. Where did I see it? Fiscal rules set in October budget are non-negotiable. Global financial markets have undoubtedly moved. UK to earn blah, blah, blah. Addresses audience in Beijing. Yeah, but it was pretty much doom and gloom over the weekend for the pound. Nothing new there. Right. What strat are you using on Top Step? Price action. Trading. Scalping. So I don't believe in strategy in prop. I do believe in strategy in prop, obviously. Yeah, so there is a reason to get. I'm not just going to hit the button for no reason. But for me, prop is about identifying where the market's going and where the momentum is. So I'm a momentum trader. So I'm looking for levels. It's all discretionary. Totally discretionary. There's no levels coming up, so there's nothing I'm going to look for a buy today. So I'm looking for sells. So I'll be looking for a sell out of there. If I see it pull back into the 20 and bear step in, I might take a short there, but scalping. Yeah. So futures is no, I don't have us with YouTube. I don't. If you stay around for a while, Trade Prime, you'll understand that this is a con. You're never going to make money trading this full time. There's a handful of people that do, but 99.9% of people that trade futures, it's gambling. It's just pure gambling. So I hit the button short now. Yeah. That's the trade. It works or it doesn't. But there is no strategy that you can execute consistently on prop within the rule set that will make you consistent gains, because there is no strategy that exists that works in all market regimes. So unless you know what the market regime today is going to be, you cannot do this successfully full time. Because if you have a beautiful breakout strategy that you trade and the market trends for 4 days, you will have 4 losing days. If you have a trend, if you're a trend trader and you love trend trading and the market goes range bound for 4 days, you'll have 4 losing days. If you limit your downside as a trader to 1500 or whatever it is that's going to be stopping you hitting your maximum drawdown limit, fine. 99.9% of people can't do that. Because I've paid $49, I couldn't give a monkeys. Yeah, that's the mindset that people go into. Professional traders go into it as well, because it is a game. It's gambling. You can earn as much money going into a casino or going to the bookmakers and sitting there betting on horses. I can get a 30-1 horse come in. I can get a 5-1 horse come in. I can also get a 5-1 trade come in. But the market is random. So therefore, whatever strategy you apply to a market, it's never going to be consistent long enough. So every strategy will do this. You'll have a P&L that will go like that, and then it will go like that. Then it will go like that. Then it will go like that. Then it might do that for a bit, go down, and then go up, and it makes new highs. So a P&L makes gradual higher highs. This here is the maximum drawdown rule set by prop firms, because they know this. Therefore, they set rules to make sure that that blows your account. Yeah. So if you start your evaluation in prop, I've been through this so many times, but it's good to go through it regularly. If you start your evaluation in prop here, you will pass. If that's where you get funded, you will rally and you will go, holy crap, I've cracked it. And before you get a payout, you'll hit that. You'll blow it and you'll go, there you go, stopped out. You'll go, oh, I have cracked it. I'm going to do it again. And then you'll start your evaluation there. And what will happen is after 5 days, you'll be like, holy crap, my strategy's not working anymore. I'm going to flip to a new strategy. Then you start a new strategy and it fails. But if you started your second evaluation here, you passed. And then you got to a stage where you just about got to where you were about to get a payout. What happens next? Who knows? But it's certainly not going to go like that. Yeah. So this is why prop doesn't work, because all prop evaluations and all prop firms have drawdown rules, either intraday trailing, or max loss. They are all calculated based on averages of traders to determine that 95% of them will at some point, whatever strategy they use, hit a losing run, which blows your account. Same as a casino. You can walk into a casino and you can walk up to a roulette table and you can go black and red 10 times in a row and go, holy crap, I've just made a lot of money. But the house edge is 51%. You will get 11 losing black and reds in a row and you will make a loss. Yeah, they are exactly the same. Same as binary options. It was exactly the same. It's a mathematical equation looking at the masses to understand where the limits are that people will hit to lose. The problem with prop is it's addictive. People can't stop doing it. I read a post on TopStep. Let me see if I can find it because it's a really interesting post on the TopStep Facebook page, and it's a guy, and this you see this all the time, the same post over and over and over again. Wasn't that one? And I read it and I was like, it just sums up prop trading. God, there's so many posts. It's a bit difficult to find that one. But basically, it went along these sorts of lines. I have done 17 evaluations. I think it was 17 he'd done. I can't find it. It's really annoying. Anyway, but basically, it went along these lines. I've done 17 challenges. Yeah. All of them are blown. Yeah. I finally cracked it, he said. And I've passed my combine. And I got my XFA, my funded account. And I've traded for I think it was 3 days, or was it 4 days? One or the other. It was 3 or 4 days. And he's hit his $200 a day target. And he's about to get his first payout. Yeah. That was the first post. The follow-up post was that. Well, there you go. I've blown my XFA. So I finally, after 17 evaluations, got funded, but I couldn't get the payout. So what his mindset now is I couldn't do this. Now I can, but my next stage is getting paid. What he doesn't realize is he's got an 18-to-1 strike rate here. He's got one successful pass of an evaluation out of 18 that he's done. The reason is because it's set up for his strategy to fail. Doesn't matter what your strategy is. All strategies at some point are going to hit it. To get a payout, you have to fail X number of evaluations. So let's say you've failed 5 evaluations, and each of those evaluations cost you $200. Yeah. So you've spent $1,000 on evaluation. This is just if you do 5 before you pass. Usually then they will either charge you an activation fee or maybe they won't, depends which one it is. But you've spent $1,000. So what you've now got to do is withdraw $1,000 from the account. But you won't be able to get to that withdrawal phase because they set a rule that says you can't get paid for a week or 2 weeks or a set number of days or until you've hit a set target. So you've got to do this again and then again to get paid. So you have to do so many evaluations or so many target hits before you get there. But during that period, there'll be so many failures. It just makes your brain panic when you get a funded account and everybody blows them. But it was such a typical... Here you go. That is another really good one. I'll read you this one. Blew 2 XFAs, which is funded accounts. But managed to make over 1,000 in my last XFA. I need to practice more patience to avoid these early chop action. I'm upset at losing my XFA, but of course that is part of the game. So he's basically blown 2 funded accounts. How many evaluations did he do before he got them? And now he's blown another. He got up to 1,000, but didn't get a payout and blew it again. Right? It's just a typical thing with these. You just get to a point where your strategy cannot make it. The screenshots flying past of people with tons and tons of failed evaluations. It's just loads of them. Yeah, failed, 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 failed. Each of these is a demo account. Each of these demo accounts is costing you somewhere between $50 to $500. Every demo account is costing you money. Stop doing it until you can pass 3 demo accounts with no financial outlay by yourself. And then go for it. But the only way to make money is really to gamble. So I'm not going to do it on this account. Go long, go 5, go big. Yeah, go big or go home. Get a trade on. Yeah, if it works out, add more to it. Yeah, and go big. That's $3,000 if it gets there. It's not going to. It's going to stop me out. $109. Who cares? It's not real money. It's fake. Yeah, but that's basically how I do it. I get in, I go big, and I make it. That's it. And then I try to get $2-3 and then take that money out and then don't care about it. If you take that approach to it as if it's not real money and you're not going to make a living doing it, you'll be fine. But everybody, there's a really good one that's just gone past actually, which is there you go. So this is an evaluation. This guy's in here. Look at this. How many days is this? Don't know. Lots of days. But he started in October. Yeah, October. We are now in January. He hasn't passed yet. So you can do this long term like this. Yeah, but you can't make money doing this. Absolutely no way of making money. And he's scalping absolutely tiny moves out of this market. Look. But that is a P&L of a position trader, isn't it? Yeah, that's not using stops. That's getting in, waiting for the market to go your way, which you can also do. But you're never going to make big amounts of money, and it's going to take an absolute age. And you can't do this on prop, because if you want to actually earn money, he's sitting here, he hasn't even passed his evaluation, and he's been in it. Look at 2 years, 1 to 1.5% gains. What's the point? But this is part of what I'm going to cover tomorrow. It's the, are you in this for fun or are you in this to make money? Because there are 2 totally different mindsets and 2 totally different strategies you have to do. Do you use low time frames? 3 drives in high time frames only? I don't know what that is, Amir, but no. I use 1,000 tick charts on futures. This is the 30-minute chart. So this is your market structure, really, but market profile chart, and 1,000 ticks. When the market's open, obviously the market's not open. This is Globex at the minute. So when the market's open, I'm not interested in time. I don't think when you're scalping, time is an illusion. So we as traders, we create these candlesticks. So if you like, a lot of people use the 1-minute chart. That tells me that in the last 1 minute, there were more buyers than sellers. But that doesn't tell me what those buyers and sellers were doing in that minute to make the buyers win. This does. This is 1,000 ticks at a time. And I can change this to 5. I mean, 500 is probably better for the Globex session. Yeah, so this is every 500 ticks of the chart. So there's buyers coming in right now. So right now you want to be buying, because the last 1,000 ticks there's been buyers coming in, and prior to that there was 1,000 ticks of buyers coming in, and the thousand sellers that came in weren't as strong as the buyers. So this is kind of telling me that the volume is shifting. It's market structure. That's all I'm trading, is market structure. Momentum. Where's the momentum at the moment? It's bullish. Yeah. So I'm trading bullish because the momentum is bullish. I'm trading against the trend. So my target's going to be, you can't swing for the moon here because it's too far away. But that's the sort of trading that I do on this. And it's just a case of trying to grab the point of the day that gets a big move. So my strategy is get in often and get in tight. Other people will get in and put big wide stops on stuff, much bigger than that, and try and get risk reward. I'm not interested in risk reward. I'm interested in, can I get a move started? And if I can, I get to break even and I just let the thing go. And I try to get a home run every day, which is why you'll see from the P&L, I'm doing 2,000, 1,500s, those sorts of days. My down days, I have a limit. If I get to usually 1,000, sometimes 1,500, stop for the day. But doing it this way, you will eventually, by definition, you will catch that move. So if this move starts, it's going there. This is a 500, isn't it? Yeah. So if this move starts, if I catch this pullback, it's going there. It might go there, but it's definitely going there if it goes. And that's what it's all about. I've got 300 on the line to make 880. Get 2 or 3 of these a day. That's all you need. But there's no strategy involved in it. It's pure momentum. I'm looking for, where are the traders at the moment? Right now, they are buying it. So I'm buying it. Yeah. Forget long-term directional bias, all this. I mean, yes, you can trade in line with the trend, but what I found with scalping, and I've always found this with scalping, is if you try and wait for a pullback in market structure, the thing with pullbacks obviously is we are always looking at sort of fib ratios. So you're looking at a 38, a 50, a 71, 9. Yeah. So we're looking to put a lower high in at some point. If you're that type of trader that is patient and disciplined and waits for that level, what you find is you will sit there, and if you're saying I'm going to take a 50% retracement, it will so many times do that or that or that you will just go, I'm not going to do it anymore. And it just won't work because you won't get there enough. When it does get there, it will do that, and it will then put in a higher low and break up, and then it will get to there and it will put a higher high and then a higher low, and then it'll push up, and then it'll invalidate it, and you'll get fed up because you tried to do that. Strategy, when you're scalping, is so difficult to do because it's impossible to predict where price is going, because this is random price action. So if you just get in the way it's going right now, there's a high probability of the trade working out because it is all random. But that's what I've always found in futures. Well, say it's not futures really, it's scalping on small time frames, 1 minute charts. I've never, put it this way, I've never found a strategy on a 1 minute time frame that I can repeat enough to give a long-term profitable edge. It's always returned to zero at some point, because the market regime is going to be one of 3 things every day. It's going to be range bound. It's going to be breakout, and then either a continuation or a false or a failed breakout, or it's going to be a trend day. Yeah. So when you look at a market profile, there's going to be 3 main market profiles you'll see that will look like that, which is a double distribution day. You'll find a market profile that looks like that, which is balance, or you'll find a profile that looks like that, which is a single distribution day. So that is a trend day. That is a trend and range day, or rather a breakout sort of day. And that is a range bound day. Unless you have a crystal ball and you can predict which one of those is going to happen today, there's no way that you can formulate a strategy for the day. So what you have to do is you have to watch price action and follow what the price action's doing. And the only way you're going to do that is by following momentum. And the momentum is on tiny time frames, ticks, seconds, that sort of stuff, because it happens so quick. But we did a lesson on this in the members streams about the 3 types of strategy. There are only 3 types of strategy on the planet. You can go and buy 100 strategies today, 1,000 strategies today, on 100 EAs executing 1,000 strategies today, but they all fall into 3 categories: range, breakout, and trend. The market is only ever doing one of 3 things. Your job is to identify which of those things it's doing. The trouble is, by the time you've identified it, it's happened. So, oh, we're in a range day. Whoops, you got in just as the breakout happened. Oh, now we're in a breakout, so I'm going to buy that breakout. No, it's a failed breakout. Okay, then I'm going to assume it's going to stay in a range. Nope, now it's broken out again. All right, then I'm going to sell the breakout. Yes, I've got in. We're in a trend day. Brilliant. So then you take a trend trade there, you get another trade on, you take a trend trade there, it reverses back up into there. Loss, loss. So you've lost, you've lost, you've lost, you've lost, you've lost. You finally get 2 trades on, you're almost back to break even and you lose again. Because you cannot identify what the day is going to be because it's only identifiable after it's happened. And this is the problem. Prop forces you, because you have to be out end of day, to trade scalp. Scalping is the hardest thing on the planet to do, which is why we position trade, because it's easy. You just wait for price to get to where you want it to. That's it. So this trade will either work out or it won't. It'll either put me $700 into profit by the next session or it won't. I can't control it. All I can do is manage risk and cross my fingers that the 50-50 is going to work, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's going up or it's going down. I'm betting it's going up. Betting being the relative word, isn't it? But anyway, that's my view on positions, prop trading and scalping. I've tried futures so many times. I used to trade stocks, and it's the same thing in stocks, because you've only got a limited amount of time to execute your orders. 1:30 the bell goes. Well, 2:30 depending what time it is, but 9:30 a.m. US the bell goes. You've got from 9:30 really until 12:30. That's it. You got 3 hours of price action. If you can't make money out of that 3 hours of price action by identifying exactly what's going on right now on these tiny time frames, you're stuffed. It's just very, very hard. I feel they are a scam. Yeah, they're not a scam. They are, you know, it's all very legitimate. There's people that are funded with Top Step with real accounts, and yeah, it's all legitimate. But they are 1 in 1,000 people. You know, I've been to XFA stage multiple times, which are demo accounts that they pay you a percentage of using the people's evaluation money, but they're still not real accounts. But they know damn well that everybody that gets an XFA is going to blow it. The average hold time is less than a month, because the strategy that you're trading, whatever it may be, whether it be intuition, discretionary, breakouts, ORB strategy, they all work, but they don't work consistently enough, because the market has a different sort of personality every day. The personality is not going to fit the strategy every day. Therefore, you will have a long losing run. It's that theory of probabilities. If you take 100 trades with a 50% strike rate, you can have 25 trades that lose in a row, and then 75 trades that win, which gives you a 75% strike rate. But if you've got a 50% strike rate, I've done that wrong, haven't I? You have 25 trades that lose, then you have 25 trades that win. You're still back to break even, aren't you? But in prop, that is a fail, that is a pass. But the strike rate is 50-50. So how can you fail and pass with a strike rate of 50-50? It's just because the distribution of trades that are winners and losers is never going to be 50-50. You never get a winner, a loser, a winner, a loser, a winner, a loser. If that was the case, you just go 2R and you'd instantly have a profit equity curve that does that. It doesn't. Your equity curve at some point will do that. Well, it will do that, because you'll have 10 losing trades in a row, and that is when you blow it. It's all very clever maths. Prop. Best business in the world to be in after being a broker, because as a broker, every time they press the buy and sell button, they get paid, which is even better, isn't it? You get paid for doing nothing. They sell the dream to get capital to trade with, like 95% of this industry sell dreams. Yeah. In reality, as you see, if you've been in here for a while, which you have, noob, it ain't easy, is it? It's a very, 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 very tough thing to do. Euro Swiss 125 ADR. We got some real big volatility coming in on this pound today. Euro Swiss. Whoa, big drop on the Euro Swiss. The ceasefire in Gaza is falling apart by those things. But that shouldn't really affect the euro. Big drop. Or is that Swiss franc? No, it's euro. Euro's dropping. Big sell just gone in on the euro for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, that was a long-winded explanation of, yes, I will be trading futures on Wednesday afternoon. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. That's the plan. Accumulation break. But, you know, as you can hopefully see, there is no exact science in what I do. I'm a discretionary trader using price action. I'm just reading price action. That's it. So market structure. Think of the market reversal alerts indicator. Yeah, that's all I'm doing is I am visualizing the MRA. Whoops. Yeah, so got push down, leg up, leg up. Yeah, retest. So this exact pattern that I've just drawn out here is exactly what I've just traded. Yeah, we've got an accumulation break, which gives you a propulsion gap. What I've looked for is the market to be bullish, pull back, be bullish, pull back, be bullish. So we've got a low, a higher low, a higher high. Yeah, reversal alert. Now retesting that level and pushing up into propulsion, where we're going to find the next batch of sellers come in. Why? Because the accumulation break was sellers. It was bearish. So exactly what you're seeing on the futures chart. Yeah. Push down, push up. There's your reversal alert. In fact, the reversal alert was kind of there. Yeah, that's the actual break there. And that, if you look at it on a 5-minute chart, will be a propulsion gap. Yeah, so accumulation, break. That is your propulsion gap there. But I'm going to look for them to test the low of that accumulation. You know, and this is the thing with the reversal alert. It either will or it won't work. So what you're going to find is with a reversal alert, as it pushes down, pushes up, pushes down, pushes up, and gives you a higher high, that reversal alert there is either going to work or it's not. If it's not, it's just a pullback and continuation on the trend, isn't it? Each of these pullbacks has a reversal alert in them. One of them is going to be the one that works. And that's all it's about. You are trying to get onto a move. If the move plays out, add to it. Yeah, add more size. Get bigger position on. And as it starts to go, take some off and go for the runner. Biggest days you get in prop are the runners. The ones where it just goes parabolic. Look at last Thursday. No, sorry, not Thursday. Yeah, it was Friday, wasn't it? That day there. I mean, you couldn't help but make money on that. And I made money on that, actually, I think. Oh, hide chart plots. No, show executions. That's the one. Oh, no, it was the short I made money on. So all the way down there. But look at what I'm doing, yeah? I'm adding. So I took a 3, another 3, another 3. I'm adding as it goes. So obviously this is a big time frame, 15 minutes, but I'm using small trades. So I try to get on, then I add more size. If it starts to work, I add more size. It's building a position. That's the best way to make money, and really the only way, I think, to make money. When you get a trade on, hammer it. And then taking it all off in portions as we get down. So I shorted it there, and I got out down here. I got out the last bits all the way down there. Actually, I took some longs down there and got out up there. But it's all about just reading price action. That's all you can do on this. There's no system or strategy. RSIs and things like that on these tiny little time frames, they just don't work. But if you've only got 2 hours to trade in, through 2 to 3 hours of proper volume, you've got to get in quickly, which means taking lots of small trades which are going to fail. The biggest traders with the biggest payouts on prop are using negative strike rate. So 30%, 33%, that's their strike rate. But what they're doing is they're trying. And when they get one, they make it work. So they get like, looks like a 10 to 15R trade. Yeah, but it's not. It's a little bit, and then a little bit more, then a little bit more. And you just, by the time you get that very small distance, you've got a massive lot size on. Much easier to make money doing it that way. Get rid of that. It's horrible having these. I hate the way this platform plots trades. It's just turn that off. But this could well just sit and accumulate, which we'll wait and see. Anyway, I'll stop waffling now. I thought you were done tonight. I was done, Franco, and then I went on a waffle. So I'm done now. Now I'm done. Right, I'll be back tomorrow morning for the member stream. We just got another ADR hit. So pound again, look, pound yen downside. 125 ADR. Nice bounce starting there. So again, wait for some structure. There's no buyers at the moment. Wait for some structure break. 1 minute chart reversal alerts. If you're scalping, scalp 1 minute and use reversal alert there. Look. If you break that high, you put in a higher high. So look for a lower high to go in. Get on that. So yeah, so back on tomorrow. I'm back on Wednesday and obviously Thursday and Friday as usual. But tomorrow's a member stream and Thursday's a member stream. We'll be going through the embedded RSI strategy. Okay. We've been suffering a blizzard here, Franco. Have you? So half the country's on fire, half the country's under snow. Crazy, isn't it? And Trump doesn't think that global warming is a thing. Can't make it up, can you? Anyway, good luck with Trump. I'm sure he's going to be very, very good for the economy, but there's certain things like injecting bleach into yourself when you've got COVID and global warming not existing that you just can't argue with scientists on, I'm afraid, Mr. Trump. They're fact. So, yeah. But other than that, should be good for the economy, hopefully. We'll see. We'll find out, won't we, next week? Right. Have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. Anything you need, let me know in Discord. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good day.